The next part of the tutorial where I am teaching you in 5 minutes Moho tips and tricks. We've got a syllabus, so I hope you follow along. Alright, so we continue. Last time we did the file tab, and I think I should teach you about the tools first before I go into the file tab, because into the edit tab and the rest, because the tools are affected, and then some options like here nothing is showing, but once you click on the tools they're affected. Alright, so this is my selection tool, select points. You can also add lasso point. When you lasso it, you are able to lasso certain points. Normally if you have like a pen tablet or something like that, this is the best. A mouse can work for lasso, but usually when I'm using my mouse, I'm using just selecting my points. So let's say this is the shape tool. You can draw shapes, circles, triangles, stars. There's already set, and I'm sure there's some scripts that can add more shapes. I'm sure someone has made a script like that. But let's say we have this, and this is like our transform points. You can transform points with this tool, and you can add points with this tool. You're adding points or making new shapes and so forth. There's auto weld, autofill, auto stroke, and you can make them sharp corners. If you click that, there'll be sharp corners. However, I like to leave this on, and then there's a script that I got which you can insert. It works better. It was made by a Moho user, and he's got many scripts out there, and I like it. I like to use this script for my points for creating shapes, and then this one I leave it at curves and so on. So even if you want to select a certain point like there, you select it and you want to make it sharp, that's how you make it sharp. And then curve tool, if you want to create another curve, like change it, you can simply click here or click there, and it changes from sharp to curve tool, sharp, curve tool. You can adjust the amount of curve you want and readjust and so on. And even in the timeline, this can be useful to add a curve and then make it sharp, and that's already an animation that you can have simple without even rigging or anything. So now drawing, freehand options. You can draw and you can adjust the freehands in here, smoother or less smooth. Like, okay, let's go to the far end, let's see how it's that. It's more freehand and you can draw on it. Then if you wanted to correct some, you go to the far extremity and it corrects it like that. Okay, and then let's see, what else do we want? If you want to delete points, you just select over them, click backspace, and you delete all the points. You can make another point, and this one deletes edges. You can simply delete an edge, and now you've got an open square or whatever. And then this is magnetic tool, it pushes. I like to use this when for hair and stuff like that, or curtains. Like you want to move a curtain, like let's say this is a curtain, you go into the timeline, select your magnet tool and you move it across, and go to the other side, you move it across, and just like that you have something moving. It could be hair, it could be a cloak, it could be clothes, waves, something just to create waves, wind and stuff like that. That is unrigged. We just want to move the points. And then this one is a blob brush. You can create blobs, and yeah, this is already something you can create. It can be water, I think it can be blobs, I don't know, splashes, things like that, just liquidy forms, and you can use that to create. And then eraser, you can erase everything you've made. But I hardly use that, so I don't know what to say on that one. And yeah, point reduction, if you want to reduce points, that's when, like, if you've drawn something and then you just want to reduce the points, you can remove points like that and erase points. But for me, mostly I don't use half of these tools, like point reduction, scatter brush. I don't use them that much. Perspective points is in a more advanced lesson. I'll teach you about that one. And share points and bend points and all these, I'll teach you those in a more advanced lesson. It won't be useful to learn them now, but just know they're there. And then this is your select shape. When you want to change color, you click on your shape and you can change color to blue or whatever color you need. You just click on it and you can change it. You can affect whatever you want to change in there. And then this one is a create shape tool. If you want to create a shape, like you delete this, then you want to create a shape, you just click on that and then you can create a shape and it will create another shape. So this is when you want to join things together or make interesting other shapes. That is the best thing to use when you create shape. Paint bucket tool, you can add blobs. It's a paint bucket. That's just, that's how you create your paint bucket. You can delete, then you left with just this, the outlines, and then you can go back in, create a shape, whatever it is. That's how that works. And then if you want to change the width, you click on this and you drag to your left or right, right or left, whatever, to influence the weight. You can select only a point by using the selection point tool. You drag across, drag down. And in this, you can hide strokes. If you want to hide certain strokes, like when something overlaps something and you want to hide it and make it an illusion, like, oh, it's disappeared, that's how you can do it. Also, this one is when you want to, let's say you want to animate a stroke. So we create our stroke, we make it big, and then we want to reduce it. We go into the timeline, we select it all, and then we can reduce it, drag it to 0 and move it across, drag it to 100%, and that's already an animation. You can affect it through here by just dragging across, left or right, left, right. You can drag it across, make it start later at 6% or 10% and so forth. That's how you can use this tool, this stroke exposure. Curve profile, it's also in another advanced tutorial that I think we should wait to explain what the curve profile does. And then this one is to change colors. You can select a certain point and you can change its color, a certain point or stroke. Usually for hair, that's also really great when the hair is dyed at the tips or it's graying, whatever. And this is to move the whole layer. If you want to animate a whole movement of a layer, this is to pick where the center of rotation. So now you've got that, and then you can rotate it from that point and bring it down, so forth. Again, this is also a fuller path advanced tutorial. This one is for rotation, perspective, and whatnot, share, rotate layer, XY. Another advanced tutorial, I think we should wait. Same here for the share layer. These are all advanced I use them to create perspectives and so forth, and layers. This would layer selector, type, you can type text whatever you want. Hi, this is a tutorial, and this is your text. We have your text written inside, and you can make edits to your text whenever you need it. Whenever you need to make edits to text. I have no idea why it's not showing, why my text is not showing right now, but I think certain things need to be reset. But anyway, you can have your text. Oh, there it is. Okay, right. This is a tutorial, and this is your text. You can edit it, you can animate text also, you can turn it, convert it into shapes, convert it into a vector, and then you can make custom text. You can animate it differently by moving the points and adjusting the points and so on, and that's a whole new thing on its own. This lesson has gone over 5 minutes, but I think we should just cover everything at once on this tab, and you can hang in there. I'm sure you can. All right, and then eyedropper tool. If you want to change the color, or you've got something that you've got like a reference of a color, and you want to reference a certain color. Let's say this is an image you've got. You just go to the eyedropper tool and you get that color. Select, go to the eyedropper tool, get that color, and you change. Okay, you can also use the ones at the top. These also work, and then you can just change whatever color you want. Go in, change color. You can change the stroke, or change the stroke like that, or use the one here. And then cameras, this is to move, to pan your camera, to zoom in, to rotate, and to tilt. I mean, yeah, pan tilt, it's pan tilt. And also in an advanced lesson I'll show you how to go extreme with them. This is just to move your canvas, zoom in, zoom out, rotate your canvas. And this one to check your depth of field, another advanced lesson. I'll show you how that works. And these are scripts written by Moho users. Thank you to them, Mind Tools, and I'll link his channel below, and you can see all the videos where he explains how to use certain scripts and how these certain scripts work. But this is also for a more advanced lesson like lip sync, using guides, curve tool, overlay, tween animation, fade in, fade out, and all those other things. But this is one I like to use a lot, round corners. So we have our round corners, click on that, and then we can just simply drag, and then this is our round corners. I use it a lot, but the rest, there's more in there that you can use, you can learn if you need to use them. I'll link his channel below, and you can watch his tutorials on how to use the tools and so forth. So that was a quick rundown of all the tools. From here on out it will be 5-minute lessons where I'm gonna show you about the edit tab, what it does, the draw tab, and what certain things will do. And then you have the bone rigging, where we'll rig a character and then these will become active. I'll show you there. Animation, show you how that affects certain animations. Some things are more advanced, so you don't really need them now, especially in this tab. I don't think, if you're a beginner, you don't need any of these yet. And then scripts, I hardly use scripts myself, but these are for all really later lessons. And then the view, again, more advanced lessons. I believe you hardly use these until like really advanced, but certain things you may use. you may want to use here. It's easy when you can't find something in here, you can just go to the view tab and find it where it is quickly. Window, again, more advanced stuff. When you need certain things, certain windows do certain activities, and you can add them in there. Like we've got this actions tab. If we unclick, it disappears. If we need it, we just bring it back. Actions, so you can clear your interface by just removing windows you don't need to use until you need to use them. And then the help button for help, user menu and all those things. Updating your Moho software and so forth, refreshing your license, adding new things, checking for updates, the usual stuff. So that is a rundown of the interface. And then on this side we have our color menu and some effects, or also do a lesson, more advanced lessons, and then brush presets. You have your brushes. Also in here there's the line boil, the new features, some new features that we'll do in a more advanced lesson, how things affect each other, and also how to set up your colors if you want to change them into certain colors that you may want, or certain things that you're just working with, and you can use that instead, whatever you prefer. But basic colors is usually what you need. And then this is your layers tab. Again, if you want to make a new layer, vector, image sequence, many options in here, frame by frame. As we go lesson by lesson, it will be revealed, and more things: duplicating a layer, adding a reference layer, deleting a layer, another layer, settings that are hidden inside, tabs, and so forth. As we're learning, we'll describe more and more. But I think that is the basic rundown of the interface and basic tools that you have here. And as we go into the next chapter, we will cover what each tool does and how things work. So instead of 5 minutes, I've made this a longer lesson so that we just cover this part, and then from here on out I can make little short lessons where I'm doing an activity and I can explain that this does that, this does that, and we can reach it in a final. Alright, thank you for watching. Subscribe, and if you need commissions or whatever, one-on-one lessons, you can reach me out to my email and we can sort out a price for that. And yeah, subscribe. Thank you again. Cheers.